Hey homies, it's ya boy Darren Richardson. I got some real freaky stuff for y'all today, so let's get to it. Ma plan histoire. 1. The abandoned hospital that never heals. I've been exploring abandoned places for years, but nothing messed me up like what I experienced at this old hospital on the outskirts of Detroit. The place had been shut down since the 80s, left to rot. But I had heard rumors, whispers about strange sounds and shadows moving where they shouldn't. I went in with my gear, and from the moment I stepped inside, it was like the air changed. It felt heavy, thick with decay. The halls were lined with rusted gurneys, crumbling walls, and broken windows. But it wasn't until I reached the old operating room that things got weird. I heard this faint metallic tapping. At first I thought it was just something falling, but it was too rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Suddenly, all the old surgical lights flickered on at once, even though there was no power. I could feel eyes on me, but when I turned around, nothing was there. Just shadows shifting in the corner of my vision. I don't know if it was in my head, but I swear I heard a voice say, "You're next." I didn't wait around to find out if I was. I booked it out of there, and I haven't been back since. The place just feels wrong, like it's waiting for more than just visitors. 2. The Factory of Whispers. Last year, I hit up this old textile factory in Ohio that had been abandoned for decades. You could still see the old machinery, rusted and covered in dust, but the creepiest part was the second floor. The locals called it the Whisper Floor, because anyone who went up there claimed to hear voices, but no one ever saw anything. I'm not one to back down, so I went up there, flashlight in hand. The second I set foot on the floor, I heard it, like dozens of people whispering at once. I walked through the room, and the whispers seemed to follow me, growing louder the further I went. My heart was pounding, but I kept pushing forward until I reached the center of the room. That's when the voices stopped. Everything went dead silent, and I could feel this pressure building in the room, like something was there, but just out of sight. I turned to leave, and that's when I saw it, a figure standing in the corner, just watching. Its face was hidden in the shadows, but I could feel its eyes on me. I didn't wait to see what it wanted. I ran down those stairs so fast, I almost fell. I've heard other explorers have seen the same figure, but no one knows who or what it is. The church that prays back. A couple of months ago, I found this old church in West Virginia. It had been abandoned for years, the roof half collapsed, vines growing through the cracks. I went in thinking I'd just see some cool old architecture, but what I got was way worse. I walked up to the altar, and that's when I noticed something strange. There were fresh candles, like someone had been there recently. The strangest part, they were all lit. I thought maybe I wasn't alone, but there was no one else around. I took a few steps closer to get a better look, and that's when I heard it, a low, guttural chanting coming from the pews behind me. I turned around, but the pews were empty. The chanting got louder, filling the whole room like a choir of voices, but I couldn't see anyone. I was frozen, trying to figure out what was happening, when the church bell started ringing. Mind you, there was no way it should have been working. It sounded like it was tolling from somewhere deep underground, shaking the whole building. I didn't stick around to find out what was causing it. I bolted out of there, and as I left, I swear the chanting turned into laughter. I haven't gone back to that church since. 4. The school that never lets go. There's this old high school just outside of Chicago, closed down after a fire in the early 2000s. The fire destroyed half the building, but the rest is still standing, just rotting away. A lot of kids died in that fire, and some say their spirits still roam the halls. When I got there, the air felt thick, like walking through a fog. I made my way through the classrooms, the smell of burnt wood still lingering in the air. But it was when I reached the gym that things got strange. I heard the sound of basketballs bouncing, but the court was empty. The bleachers creaked like someone was walking on them, but I was alone. I turned to leave, and that's when I saw them. Handprints, fresh handprints on the dusty gym doors, like someone was pressing their hands against the glass from the inside. I opened the door, and the gym lights flickered on by themselves. In the corner of the gym, I saw a group of shadowy figures, just standing there, watching. They didn't move, but I could feel their eyes on me. I got out of there fast, but the sound of bouncing basketballs followed me all the way to my truck. Number 5. The house on Blackwood Drive. I heard about this place from a friend, a house on Blackwood Drive that had been abandoned for over 50 years. No one in town would go near it because they said it was cursed. Of course, that made me want to check it out even more. When I got there, the house looked like something out of a horror movie. Broken windows, rotting wood, and an overgrown yard. I went inside, and immediately I felt like I was being watched. The air was thick, stale, like it hadn't been disturbed in years. I made my way through the house, and every step I took, the floor creaked like something was moving with me. I reached the second floor, and that's when I saw it, an old mirror hanging on the wall. In the reflection, I saw a figure standing at the end of the hallway, but when I turned around, no one was there. I looked back at the mirror, and the figure was closer now. I turned again, nothing. It was like it only existed in the reflection. I ran down the stairs, but before I could reach the door, I heard this loud bang from upstairs, like something had slammed into the floor. I didn't look back. I don't know what I saw in that mirror, but I'm never going back to that house again. Thanks for listening. Now I'm about to go hit the hay, so, toodles!